Have you ever been to an anime con? I've been to one in my city and it was alright, but I have been to San Diego Comic-Con and that shit's crazy. So today we're gonna be seeing what Giga thinks about anime cons.
Anime conventions are a rare enigma where you get to see herds of wild otaku migrate from the safety of their own homes to a designated spot in order to socialize, interact, and sometimes even breed with their own kind. It can sometimes be intimidating for outsiders looking in at the strange lifestyle seen at these gatherings. But as I've been to many cons this year, and with con season almost over, what is the real experience I think both new and seasoned con goers should be aware of?
I'm interested to see because I've been to Comic-Con a few times now.
Before deciding to go to a convention, know that it can cost a fair bit of money, so budgeting is a very important skill to have. One commonly suggested budgeting technique is to take your entire life savings, add the maximum limit to your credit card, and... Now, accommodation can be expensive, but you can get around this by rooming with some friends, if you don't have any real-life friends to...
No! Okay, look, if you have the money to get your own room, get your own damn room. You should have max one roommate. Because most standard hotels have 2 beds, so that is totally fine. They keep their stuff on their side, you keep your stuff on your side, you're solid. But when you start getting to 3, 4, 5, or even 6 people in one room, it is awful. I've done this at Comic-Con before. I love my friends, but it's just too many damn people. I'm a seasoned veteran when it comes to this thing, so if you can, get your own hotel room.
Then the next best thing is to find online friends.
No.
They're like real life friends, except
I mean, yes, kind of.
them as a disembodied avatar on your computer screen. Just be careful, as you shouldn't be surprised if that one person who appeared alright the 2 times you talked to them on Discord suddenly becomes an annoying twat who was seemingly never taught any manners by their parents. The typical estimate on how many people you should share accommodation with goes by taking the width and length of a standard hotel room, calculating the area, then dividing that by the number of average human bodies that can lay in it side by side. Once you arrive at the con, the first challenge you'll have to handle is picking up your badge.
2 people in a room.
It's a fairly simple procedure for small conventions, but for any larger ones, you'll need to be ready. Most cons allow you to pick it up the day before the convention starts, as if you show up on the opening day, you'll be expected to wait in line for approximately half the life expectancy of an average human being, while also being subjugated to walk past at least 10 fuckers who measure their life worth on how many high fives they can collect. And once you get past that, you can finally start enjoying the convention. If this is your first time, it may be a surreal experience hearing words like kawaii or sugoi or JoJo reference casually being thrown out in public. And some people take this as a sign that they've just entered a separate dimension of reality, detached from any and all social norms. Surprisingly, this is not actually the case, so be sure to keep in mind that all actions that can make you seem creepy or rude or downright criminally harassing in the real world still do apply here.
Yes, oh my god, I cannot tell you how many times people, and it's weird, it's more at the anime conventions than Comic-Con. Now maybe it's because Comic-Con has become a super big commercial thing where there's like celebrities all over the place, the whole city transforms, and it's super packed anywhere you go, so you can't be really ridiculous in the area without kind of really getting in people's way. Anime conventions, however, are usually not super packed, at least the ones I've been to. I've never been to one in LA, I know those get pretty crazy. But the ones I've been to, there's a lot of open space, so I've definitely seen the people that run around throwing themselves at people and all of that crap. Don't do that! Especially if you don't know the people. It's just weird, and you'll probably get kicked out of the con if they have good security. But yeah, you see a lot of stuff at anime conventions.
Cosplayers are one of the most well-known things about conventions, and you may get excited seeing some of your favorite characters or even your waifu. Though, be wary, it's not a widely known fact that cosplayers have personalities, emotions, insecurities, morals, and lives outside of their costumes, so they are almost just like human beings. If you want to take a picture, the correct social etiquettes are: go up to the cosplayer, ask politely if you can take a picture, then awkwardly try to figure out where you're supposed to put your hands. If you're thinking about cosplaying yourself, however, then don't forget at the end of every convention, you will be put in a death tournament against everyone else who cosplayed your character, as only one is allowed to walk out alive. Spending the entire day at the convention can be draining, so it's recommended you bring some kind of bag with all the provisions you need. If you want to be prepared, a rough list of things you'll need is a con book, schedule, snacks, camera, phone charger, hand sanitizer, spare batteries, poster tubes, camping gear, first aid kits, starter pack, pepper spray, machetes, extra bullets for good luck, and most importantly, enough liquids to make it through a regular winter. Despite all this, however, there will always be one resource that is in short supply. This is body spray. It is a device that can be applied on the body which can temporarily mask out odor and is very commonly mistaken for a shower.
I don't know how people at conventions don't understand hygiene. Like, it blows my mind. It's one thing to have taken a shower in the morning and then been out all day and maybe, you know, you're a little stinky after that. But I mean, I bring deodorant. I genuinely bring deodorant with me to the con. I keep it in a little spot in my bag. If I'm halfway through the day and I'm just all like, man, I feel kind of I just put some on just to cover my bases. But there are genuinely people, and this is not a lie, I told this story on my freaking live stream one time. There are people that go the whole con weekend without showering, and you can tell. It's gross.
This is not a shower.
Thank you.
This is not a shower. It is, however, used to freshen yourself up when taking care of your personal hygiene. A secret technique known only to the chosen few who attend on their arduous journey of internally gagging every 5th person they pass. Be especially careful of any tightly packed gaming room, as such spaces can be prone to their own independent climate with increased humidity comparable to tropical rainforests. Now that you're all ready to enjoy the convention, let's see what's going on. The most obvious is the dealer's room, which scientifically functions as a black hole for your wallet. This is usually the busiest place at the convention, so at a big con, you can expect the walking speed to average out at about 1 millimeter per hour. If you do ever find yourself in this kind of situation, it's the perfect time to just stand around in a large group doing nothing, as it's sure to inconvenience and annoy absolutely no one ever. You may notice when in the hall, the environment conditions you to bypass your logical brain in order to make as many irrational purchases as possible. This phenomenon is known as con buyer's high, and once infected, it can only be stopped when the individual looks at their wallet and eventually realizes that they aren't going to be able to pay the next 3 months of rent.
I've dropped a lot at cons before. I think the last Comic-Con I went to, I probably dropped maybe not 1,000, but slightly under 1,000. Like, I dropped a few hundred like the first day. And I was buying art, I was buying figures, and you have to ship all that stuff back if you don't live in the city or if you didn't drive there. Con buyer high is 100% a real thing. I literally, one time, the con was closing down and I was walking by a booth and I was like, oh, that looks pretty awesome. And they're like, oh, we have it in stock. I was like, but it says it's unavailable until whatever. They're like, we have it in stock. And it was like $100+. And I was like, but they have it in stock. I should buy it. And I walked out the very last second of the con with another purchase. It was insane.
Panels are also a massive part of conventions.
Hey,
there will be many
anime
different
man.
panels running, but if there is a popular panel you want to attend, make sure you set up camp at least 7 months before the panel starts. But be wary that the line will still probably be over capacity just before your turn. They can range from many different topics and shows, and a lot of them allow you to ask questions if you ever wanted more
Black
insight.
Bible,
Once
Bible
the panel
Black.
is nearing its end, it's normally time for the quick fire questions to get through as many people as they can. Unfortunately, even if you have a burning insightful question nobody has asked yet, this is the time which guarantees the next person will take up 15 minutes asking the panelists what brand of shampoo they used that morning. Other important areas you can check out is the artist alley, where you'll buy quality trinkets you'll lose in a day, the gaming room, where you'll get your ass kicked by at least 10 different people more practiced than you, and the main lobby, where you can hang out and crowd watch and definitely not judge the 50 people walking past you who shouts out a dead meme. As you'll be having so much fun and wanting to spend as much time at the con as possible, normal living habits may become somewhat of a nuisance that takes time away from things you want to do. Case in point, food. Food will turn from part of your daily routine to something you'll have to consciously consider,
pizza.
or you'll be surviving the weekend
all
with a
day.
standard dietary recommendation of pizza, burger, instant ramen, and chips. Now, though this is the recommended diet, you'll find that oftentimes you have to make an important choice between going to that one event you plan to and eating. One is a panel of sweaty nerds talking about cartoons, and the other is your normal daily routine that every human needs in order to get energy and survive.
There was this shop that I really, really like, and it was like 2 or 3 blocks away. I would go there every single day because they had like a 2-slice special. Every single freaking day I went to that damn shop.
So now that you've gone 2 days without eating a meal, you may feel your body shutting down and you need to find a place to eat. This could be the right time to venture further outside the convention to find a
Nando's.
proper restaurant. Be warned, however, as the further away you venture from the venue, the closer you are to normal society again, which can be deadly for any con goer. Luckily, this is something you can calculate, as if you open up Google Maps and mark off the area around the convention, the weeb density is inversely proportionate to the distance traveled away from the convention in miles. This is known as the Weeb-Boltzmann law, and this area marked off right here is the safe zone. Unless, of course, your city has an area with a high concentration of Japanese or Korean restaurants, in which case they become temporary embassies for weebs in times of trouble. As you'll likely be going in a group, it's improbable that you'll be able to convince everyone to go for a healthy meal option. So if you want to eat healthy during the convention, then my best advice to you is... you're fucked. On some rare occasions, the convention may be held at a hotel or venue where normal people are staying, which can end up becoming one of the most unintentionally amusing things, watching them try to figure out exactly what new planet they've just woken up on. If this happens, don't be afraid to show them that we are just normal people. Say hi, ask them what they do for a living, what they're here for, and which one of the Monogatari girls they'd prefer to have sit on them. If you want to pack it in early, know that there are probably activities still going on after hours. Many conventions hold raves, a place where you either get to see a large group of awkward anime fans hands bouncing around and clapping, or people who are confident enough to try dancing by attempting to waterbend. This is not to be confused with idol shows, which is the only place in the universe you'll be able to see a concert hall full of anime nerds go absolutely fucking mental. For many others, however, after
Never
hours
been to one of those.
activities will just boil down to finding a place to consume enough alcohol to poison a fucking elephant. Once you've gone through all that, congratulations, you have survived and hopefully enjoyed your anime convention. Now comes the hardest part. The
Leaving?
post-con. You know that story you always hear about people waking up from their hangovers after a hard night of drinking and feeling like death when they see the sunlight? Well,
Yep.
it's a bit like that, except the hangover is your post-con blues, and the sunlight is the crippling depression you feel when you realize that you're back in normal society. You can't shout out memes casually, everyone's wearing boring normal clothes, and nobody wants your free hugs anymore. Actually, maybe no one ever wanted your free hugs. Stop trying to give me free hugs. I don't want free hugs.
There's
Get
always
out
somebody.
of my personal space. And that's the typical con experience. After a long weekend of anime, you may find it takes some time to rehabilitate yourself back into society. But once you
Trigun.
do, you will realize that despite all the possible shortcomings, you had an absolutely fantastic time. And you want to go to as many conventions as possible, only to forget that your wallet had already put out a hit on you as you don't have any money to pay next month's rent because of that figurine you bought, you stupid anime trash.
If you've never experienced a convention before of something you really enjoy, I've been to plenty of them. I highly recommend going to one in your lifetime, even if it is just to get the experience. You might end up hating it, but at least you can say you tried it out. I've been to CES, I've been to E3, I've been to Comic-Con, I've been to a lot of cons in my city, and they're always a good time. Even if you just want to go shopping, it's definitely worth it. Anyways, if you haven't checked out Gigook's channel before, I highly suggest you go check him out. He makes a lot of great content revolving around anime. If you want to see the last Gigook video I reacted to, go check it out right here. Also hit that subscribe button because we're nearing 10,000 subscribers on this channel. But as always, I am your host, JUICEBOX. Remember, you wake up in the morning and ask yourself something. Have a daily dose of juice. See you guys next time.